Now, fans that either sold their tickets or whatever, all of a sudden an emphasis is starting to get thrown onto the tickets where people believe she will be playing. And that's starting to make the ticket prices go up.
The haters believed they had finally prevailed. They welcomed Caitlin Clark's absence, counted her out, and watched as ticket prices plummeted once she was injured. The problem with champions, however, is this. They're not stationary. Clark's comeback was recently announced. And the terror is genuine, boy. The same individuals who are disparaging her are now vying for tickets that they cannot afford. What, in your opinion, irritates Clark's detractors the most? The league physically collapses without her, or is it her supremacy on the court? Thus, we are seeing the most foreseeable collapse in WNBA history. While prices are rising more quickly than their blood pressure, the same folks who spent weeks celebrating Caitlin Clark's injuries are now feverishly scrolling Ticketmaster. It's quite lovely to observe. Let's discuss the actual events that took place here. When you switched on the lights after Clark had his quad injury, the detractors emerged from the woodwork like cockroaches. They were essentially hosting parties, discussing how the league would function better without her, and how other players would at last get the recognition they so well deserve. Congratulations, then. It was a total fiasco, but you got precisely what you wanted.
Look, missing time does not help the case at all for MVP, but what it does, and we're seeing it, it shows the league, the media, everybody that covers it, holy crap, look at what this...
For anybody who believed the WNBA could function without its greatest star, the statistics are unforgiving and merciless. The cost of tickets not only dropped, but plummeted. We're discussing a total market meltdown. Colorado families physically canceled their vacations because they didn't see a watered-down product for hundreds of dollars. Before you could say second-year star, the Indiana Fever went from being a must-watch TV show to becoming a background noise.
Clark's MVP hopes remain stagnant after missing her first WNBA games due to injury. She is expected to be out for at least another week. So let's go down here. It's a breakdown of the MVP odds. Here it is. You got a minus 250 for Napheesa Collier.
Here's where it truly shines, however. The complete narrative is revealed by the MVP odds. Furthermore, it's not the narrative that Clark's detractors were hoping for. Even skipping weeks of activity, with odds of plus 450, she is still comfortably positioned at number 2. It's not luck. Respect from those who really know basketball is evident in that. Even though AJ Wilson is at plus 700 and Napheesa Collier is at minus 250, the fact that Clark retains those odds after being injured should speak much about her worth. Your emotions and your tirades on Twitter are of no concern to the betting markets. The harsh realities are important to them. Furthermore, Caitlin Clark cannot be replaced. These bookies are not charitable organizations. Despite losing a lot of time, they are investing real money on the idea that she is still the second most probable player to win MVP. That is not only remarkable, but also unheard of.
Injury. We bring in CBS Sports injury analyst Marty Jaramillo. And Marty, what does it say about Clark's quad that she's out there shooting threes in the corner just a day after injury announcement?
Yeah, well, Chris, she got in trouble for that. She got scolded by one of her teammates. Like, get off the court. You are on injury duty. Like, go to the train when we get some treatment. So she really aggravated or re-aggravated an issue she was dealing with in the preseason. She had a minor quad strain in the preseason that was well managed. It was a little bit of tightness in the thigh.
Let's now discuss what transpired when rumors of her return began to spread. Do you recall the crash ticket pricing that caused the critics to do victory laps? Well, the crow they are about to eat will taste awful. Pricing for certain Clark Summit tickets. The number of upcoming games has climbed by 366%. Go over it again. 36%. $86.25 for a Section 120 ticket when she was gone. Now, the same seat costs $140 for her rematch with the Connecticut Sun. That is an increase of 62.7%. And that's just the beginning. Your wallet will suffer more the closer you are to the court you choose to sit. When she returns, Seats in Section 1116 that were previously selling for $391.95 will suddenly cost over $400.
How long were you sitting on the...
Oh, I was waiting.
How long were you sitting
I
on the...
tell you, I was waiting. Me?
At what point were you waiting to pull out this?
Man.
Kind of the Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is a hell of a
Incredible.
player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls. South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. Y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
But those Chicago Sky games are causing actual damage. You know, the games with the supposed rivalry between Angel Reese and Clark that the media can't get enough of. There is an injury to Caitlin Clark. Oh, the cost of the Fever and Sky game tickets. When they met again in July, a ticket in Section 225 at the United Center was selling for $57.50. You will have to pay $267.95 for the identical seat. It goes beyond inflation. For those who finally recognized what they were going to miss, it is desperation pricing.
Caitlin Clark is injured. Oh, the ticket prices for the Fever and Sky.
Caitlin Clark's injury revealed just how much the entire WNBA depends on her. Without her, the Indiana Fever aren't just a bad team, it barely feels like basketball. Clark isn't just talented, she's a generational star carrying the whole league. When she plays, the WNBA looks like a real professional sport. Without her, it feels like a high school game. Critics want to give credit to others, but true star power only exists in Clark. Her absence exposed the league's weaknesses and how much she truly matters. Ticket prices are soaring as fans fear missing out on seeing her play. Those who downplayed her influence now realize just how crucial she is. Clark's impact goes beyond basketball, it's cultural. The WNBA finally has a star who can carry the league on her own.
These teams, I told you earlier, these WNBA franchises that moved games like the Chicago Sky to the, United Arena, you're screwed. You're done. You're cooked. Nobody is going to show up to this thing. Chicago Sky can't sell out their own 9,000-something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were...
Let's discuss the true implications of this for the league's future. For the next 10 years, every sports marketing professor will be presenting a case study on star power because of Clark's injuries and the rumors surrounding his recovery. The health state of a single player shouldn't have the power to collapse and revive the ticket market for an entire professional league. However, here we are. Another excellent illustration of this market craziness is the Washington Mystics games. Section 116 tickets will only cost 11% more on August 15th when they go to Indiana than they did on Tuesday. Why? Because, despite Clark's participation, it's not one of the high-profile games that casual fans mark on their calendars. The market is astute enough to see the difference between Clark playing and Clark playing a game that people really want to watch. This selective price rise demonstrates something that the critics are unwilling to admit. Clark's influence extends beyond his skill as a basketball player. It's about arranging games and encounters that go beyond sports. Although the Mystics are a decent team, their games don't create as much excitement as those between the Sky and Sunday. That truth is surgically reflected in the market. Let's talk about the big issue with the Sky games. Media agencies in dire need of plots have hammered the living daylights out of the Clark versus Ree theme. However, the cost of the tickets does not reflect what the public really wants to watch. Clark's comeback isn't the only reason for the price increase from $5,750 to $267.95 for the same seat. People are interested in seeing whatever drama develops between these two athletes and their fan groups. This entire thing is further complicated by the Commissioner Cup game. This clash isn't your typical season matchup. It is intended to be a unique occasion that sparks more attention. However, even exceptional events need celebrity endorsements to support high-end prices. Additionally, Clark's presence elevates a good marketing concept into a really must-attend occasion. Reality is already settling in as word of her homecoming spreads. It's becoming clear to the haters that they are more dependent on her than she is on them. The league is recalling the reasons they went above and above to accommodate her rookie season planning. The fans are recalling their first motivation for watching. The hikes in ticket prices are more than merely adjustments to the market. These are confessions from a fan base that momentarily contemplated giving up on the sport's main draw. In essence, everyone who pays that 366% markup acknowledges that they were mistaken to question her significance. This is something that really irritates the haters. To create this type of enthusiasm, Clark doesn't even have to be performing at her peak. More hype has been generated by the mere prospect of her comeback than most players do during their peak performances. It goes beyond star power. That kind of magnetism only comes around once. Compared to full games with other players, the practice video of her shooting generated more social media interaction. Take a moment to consider it. More people were interested in seeing a short video of someone practicing shots than in watching an entire professional basketball game. Nothing will adequately capture her influence on the league if that doesn't. The most enjoyable aspect of this whole tale will be what occurs next. The Fever will be instantly watchable once Clark returns, most likely looking as if she never left. The return of the league's top player will make the MVP race more competitive, not because other players improved. Demand will continuously keep up with the premium pricing, which will lead ticket prices to stabilize at their new, higher levels. The haters will have to live stream their worst nightmare. Caitlin Clark is demonstrating once again that she is more than simply a skilled basketball player. In basketball, she is indispensable. They will see vacant stadia being filled. They will see an increase in TV ratings. Additionally, they will see a rise in item sales, for the only reason that one participant is fit enough to play a game. And the jealousy will be evident throughout it all. These individuals were so focused on bringing her down that they failed to see the beauty of what they were seeing. They are now forced to pay top dollar to see what they have worked so hard to destroy. It's the ideal irony. The entertainment value is invaluable, and justice is served quickly. The greatest thing is that we have only just begun. Clark's comeback will be more significant than her first appearance. And those critics who rejoiced over her injuries are going to learn a valuable lesson about why a champion should never be written off. If you're eager to see them struggle, hit the like button and subscribe for more sports-related truth.